Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. Today back with a update on the rebuild of my Titanic. You guys can see I made some pretty good progress so far. The stern really doesn't have or the bow really doesn't have a whole lot left to finish up before I can get the two sections back together. But I figured before we get too far, I'll bring you guys in for some show and tell here on kind of what I have going on. So as far as structural differences in the base of the bow, I didn't really change too much other than the color of parts, but in this other section here, I've done a lot of support work, stuff that's not included in LEGO's instructions, solely for the fact of having more of a substantial base to build the upper decks on. You can actually really push down on this and nothing wants to bow or collapse, and that was kind of my goal. So I do have the LEGO instructions pulled up on my computer. You guys can kind of see how the earlier parts of this section goes. Really not too much to it, a lot of open space here, and I've filled every bit of that. Is it necessary? No, but I am totally into overbuilding and over constructing and making sure everything is well supported. So you guys can kind of see how that looks, of basically what you're building from the base up. You have a little bit of a internal spine right behind where all the rooms are. Here you guys can kind of see how the boiler room sits, and some of the internal supports. Nothing really in front, towards the front of that section. Even as you add the rooms, just some normal structure for some of the upper areas on there, and some tile work, some of the fancy little angle builds that they do. But right here you guys can kind of see there's this large void in this area, and on mine that's all filled in. The whole base, you guys can see, is filled in. I have bricks pretty much filling this whole area, a couple little cavities that were not really needed, and then if I can hold this piece right, it's a little hard to see, but you guys can kind of see the spine in this section behind some of that support there. I've intertwined that all the way up to that point, and then you guys can kind of see I did just a very simple stacking technique of 2x6 bricks, basically just building myself a little tower up to this point where I can start building the upper decks on, and I have full support in that area. Down in here you guys can kind of see more of that spine. There are quite a few junctions on that with the plates where I have interlaced it down here to this section that I've built up in the front there. All that's kind of tied in with each other. It's all supporting itself. So from the ground up, this thing is very overbuilt and very structurally sound. I have, like I said, I have a lot of let's see, what's the word I'm thinking of here? I have a lot of force. I can put a lot of force on this. You guys can see I can really push on that, and none of this caves in, none of it breaks, because we are overbuilding it, putting a lot of support in there, and making it so that way, like I said, when I go to start adding a lot of the upper deck stuff, and especially when I add the funnel sections in, I have a really good solid base with everything where I can really sandwich that down, get it into place, and I don't have to worry about pieces beneath it giving way and accidentally pushing everything through and wrecking all of my kind of pre-saved parts. So that's basically how the rest of the ship is going to be. In the very front of the bow, there's not really too much to do on that. I could put some more support in there, but the bow is actually built pretty decent. But these sections where there was kind of these large hollow gaps left, I felt like there needed to be a little bit more in there. So I threw a lot of extra bricks internally. I'll try to get up to where I'm at on the instructions here. You guys can see I've already got like all the rooms put back on. All that stuff goes really quick when I pre-save it, so it's really not taking me that long to rebuild this. It's actually going pretty quick, but just making sure I'm adding more support. Like you guys can see, just this huge hollow area right here, and stuff's kind of, stuff is built on top of that. So I wanted to make sure that I was supported all the way down to the base, and this whole section's way overbuilt, but it's strong. So I'm pretty close to right about here. I'm a little bit further, but you guys can kind of see how the window areas are. That's something else that I really didn't like that LEGO did, is they left these windows open, so you could just see through and see all the different building techniques and colors. And on one aspect that's kind of cool, but on a, somebody like me who's going for detail and realism, looking through there and seeing all that stuff isn't really what I want. So you guys can see here, right here where the stairs kind of enter, there's just this empty area, and if you build up everything and you look down the stairs, you can kind of like see in further than what you need to. My solution for that was to basically build a floor, and now when the front parts of these stairs are built and everything, you look down, it's just this, what looks like a floor, and then when you look through, it's a little teeny glimpse. It's not, not much, but when you look through there, you can kind of see all the way down this path here. And now when you look in there, you're not just going to see different colored bricks building the section up. You're going to see this floor in here, and it's completely unnecessary to make it go that whole length. And honestly, I would really only need to do a little tile section here, but I kind of wanted to make this whole area connect, so that way when you look through, you actually get like a view into the ship, and it looks like it's part of the interior, not just like stuff like this. And then also you guys can kind of see my blocking out the windows technique, because once everything's built, you don't really see in it too well. Now, if everything is open and you can get light through there, you'll see all that stuff. But now with me using, I've been using kind of this the darker gray to black them out. I did start with, the first time I built this ship, I was doing that with black pieces, and it was okay, but I kind of wanted to use a little different color from black, just so it kind of gives the windows a little bit of depth, and it's not just black behind there. So I opted for using dark gray pieces for that. Some areas where the build has to kind of take place, there's some white in there, but I feel like that blends in pretty good. And you guys can actually see on this side here that whole floor area through that window right there. So I'm really taking time, and I don't have to really do it too much this go around, because I took care of a lot of the remaining issues that I had the last time I built the ship. So I'm trying to save and picture and redo a lot of my same techniques, just minus the mock this go around. But I took care of a lot of visual issues, like areas like this where you could see in there. I've filled that up. With the rooms, I'll see if I can get a little light on the subject here. With the rooms there, I did my best to eliminate any unnecessary studs in the background. Made sure we're tile all the way through there. Make sure there's nothing visually behind or like along the back wall of these rooms where you could see something. You guys can see a little bit of light in these rooms, but once the ship is sealed up, there's no light through there, and you cannot see anything through that. But like these bedrooms here with these clips were like a different color, and I've actually extended the hallway. The hallway that's within here, that's got tile on the floor that you can't even really see. And you can kind of see it a little bit right there. The hallway kind of enters into the room. And then I've done some tile work up in this area to try to hide studs. So my big thing with the rooms are eliminating as much visual studs as possible. Of course, some of the gold studs are necessary for like tables or whatever decorative stuff they have, but I have been tiling the hallways so that way they're not just studs, bare studs. They look a little bit better. You can't see too much of it, but what you do see looks really good, especially in here. Like, you really can't see the floor at all. A little bit you can with light, and I even have these pieces kind of blocking off the hallway itself, so that way it's not too visual, but you guys can kind of see down in there. It's a nice sealed hallway with a tile floor. So it's a lot of little tedious stuff like that that I've taken care of over the past couple rebuilds of the ship, making sure that there's no little spots where you can peek through and see any of this inside stuff. So it's been, it's quite the chore. I do have to kind of build, not now, of course, because I've figured that out, but the first time I built the ship, it took me quite a while. I had to look really far ahead in the instructions and see what was actually visible, and kind of go work backwards from there and see where I could add pieces and fill pieces, kind of even really change the whole structure of the inside, how everything's built. So it is a lot of work trying to figure all that out. This go around, it's not too bad. Like I said, I kind of perfected everything the last time I built the ship. So this time around, we're just kind of adding some more rigidity, some more strength to the inside, and essentially, inevitably making it heavier than it was before. So it's going to be pretty heavy when it's all said and done, but it's going to be strong, and we're not going to have any failure issues while we're pushing upper deck parts on, and the whole ship itself will be a lot stronger. So but figured just get you guys kind of a visual on how I have a lot of substructure added in there for strength, and not too much on the very front of the bow. I still have my added on details from the last build. Did refine just a couple little things here and there, but didn't really add anything special or noteworthy. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. I'm about to attach the two sections. Probably get the whole bow section done, and then we'll do another little walkthrough of the entire thing, kind of talk about some of the little details that I changed and added to enhance the overall look of the ship, and go from there. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the update, and until next time, take care.